For years, the US and India were seen as the backbone of a free and open Indo-Pacific, united by shared democratic values and strategic interests. The Quad, US, India, Japan, and Australia, symbolized this alliance, aiming to counterbalance China's rise. But today, India is quietly recalibrating its foreign policy, seeking a more pragmatic relationship with China, while hedging its bets with the West. This isn't a dramatic break, but a strategic pivot driven by shifting global realities and doubts about American reliability. Trade disputes, diplomatic pressure, and America's shifting priorities have made India question whether Washington is a dependable partner. As a result, New Delhi is cautiously opening the door to Beijing, a move that would have seemed impossible just a few years ago. India's new approach is less about ideology and more about national interest and strategic autonomy. If India moves away from the Western camp, it could reshape the global order and accelerate the rise of a multipolar world. The US-China rivalry remains the defining struggle of our time, and India's independent path could be a game-changer. The old certainties are fading and a new, unpredictable era in international relations is beginning. The US-India partnership, once rock-solid, has been strained by trade disputes and policy disagreements. American tariffs on Indian exports and pressure to cut Russian oil imports have fueled resentment in New Delhi. India sees these moves as infringements on its sovereignty and strategic autonomy. Washington's continued support for Pakistan, India's rival, has further eroded trust. Indian leaders now view the US as an unreliable partner, too quick to impose its own interests. The constant pressure and unpredictable policy shifts have created strategic fatigue in New Delhi. India is no longer willing to put all its eggs in the American basket. This disillusionment has prompted India to seek partners who better respect its independence. Increasingly, that means taking a second look at China. India and China, after years of border tensions, are now taking steps toward de-escalation and cooperation. Diplomatic channels are active again, and high-level meetings are more frequent. Trade between the two countries has rebounded, with India easing restrictions on Chinese investment. Restored air travel and renewed business ties signal a pragmatic shift. Both nations recognize that perpetual hostility is costly and counterproductive. India wants stability to focus on domestic growth. China wants a less hostile neighbor as it faces the US. The two aren't friends, but they're managing disputes while pursuing shared economic goals. India is signaling to Washington that it has options and won't be drawn into a zero-sum rivalry. India's foreign policy is now defined by multi-alignment, actively engaging all major powers to advance its interests. Unlike Cold War non-alignment, this strategy is dynamic and pragmatic. India seeks to cooperate with the US, do business with China, and maintain defense ties with Russia, all at once. Strategic autonomy remains central. India resists being a junior partner in any bloc. Multi-alignment gives India flexibility and leverage in a multipolar world. India participates in Quad exercises and Shanghai Cooperation Organization drills in the same year. This isn't indecision, it's a calculated effort to keep all doors open. No single partner can meet all of India's needs. Engagement with all is essential. The US offers technology. China is a key trading partner, and Russia supplies military hardware. For India, it's not about picking sides, it's about putting India first. Despite the thaw, India-China relations remain complicated by unresolved border disputes and strategic rivalry in the Indian Ocean. The memory of recent clashes lingers, and both sides keep troops on high alert. China's Belt and Road projects in South Asia are viewed with suspicion in New Delhi. Yet, India now believes boycotting China is ineffective. Engagement is the new strategy. India aims to manage disputes while cooperating on trade and climate change. This dual-track approach allows rivalry in security, but partnership in economics. For India, it's a realistic way to deal with a powerful neighbor, avoiding both submission and endless conflict. India's pivot has forced Washington to rethink its Indo-Pacific strategy. The US once saw India as a natural ally against China, but India's independent streak has upended those assumptions. American policymakers are frustrated, fearing the Quad's unity is at risk. Losing India would weaken US influence and embolden others to hedge between Washington and Beijing. The root cause: US policies seen as unreliable and self-serving. Tariffs, sanctions, and insensitivity to India's concerns have driven the drift. This is a wake-up call for the US to treat India as a true partner, not a subordinate. The future of the US-India relationship depends on respect, consistency, and shared interests. Asia's balance of power is shifting from a simple US-China rivalry to a complex, multipolar landscape. India's multi-alignment is leading the way, showing that major powers won't just pick sides. This new reality demands a more nuanced US approach, one based on partnership, not dominance. To regain India's trust, Washington must respect its autonomy and avoid unilateral moves. The US should offer a positive vision for the region, focused on trade, infrastructure, and shared challenges. Trust must be rebuilt through consistent, tangible actions. India's pivot signals a broader global shift. The era of unipolarity is over. The US can either adapt and lead through partnership or risk losing key allies. The choices made now will shape Asia's future for decades. The world is watching as a new balance of power emerges.